Hey everyone, welcome back to the third installment of this year's Power Rankings, August 2nd. We just finished all the games. A little bit late starting this out because I was watching hockey as well. It's been a crazy weekend for sports in general. But here we are. It was a tough kind of week for at least 6 of the teams because, as most of you will know, there's postponements all across the weekend. 20% of the games, 3 games were postponed. So we have quite a few teams that aren't in action as much this week as the others. We also have the Marlins, who have really only played 3 games, and I'll talk more when I get there. But yeah, here we go. It's just my opinion based on how the MLB went this week. Some teams are going to be in weird spots, but they're on heaters. Yeah, again, we'll get to that as we go. Bottom of the list, number 30. Pittsburgh Pirates. If you were following last week, I spoke too early when I thought they were going to beat the Brewers, and they just fell apart. And then they got swept by the Chicago Cubs, so they're looking rough. They're having trouble scoring. Their pitching can't really keep them in games at all. I said last week that tattoo the Mariners down here, but honestly, it's looking like the Pirates are going to be in that position going forward. 29. I couldn't keep them up anymore. The Angels, they've just been in a free fall all season long. They're just not winning, and again, they lose today in extras to the Astros. It's the Astros. They're missing Mike Trout a little bit this week because of the birth of his child. Ohtani's been struggling, so right now they're there. They can really only go up from here unless they just keep losing. But the West it's a tough division to fall behind in, and oh man, Angels fans, I'm sorry. 28, not too far ahead. I do have the Mariners. So they had a pretty solid week considering their roster. They won probably about half as many as they lost, so I have them moving up a little bit. Still not sold. Taijuan Walker had a good game for them. We'll see if they can keep this up. They'll definitely keep going up. They've given me a surprise on a couple of the games they played. But number 27, I have the New York Mets. Wow, what a fall this one was. I think I had them up in this row. This week they got absolutely annihilated. Boston smashed them. Atlanta, wow, they were winning a game 5-6 runs against Atlanta, and Atlanta came back and win, and really that was a huge turning point. The Mets look crazy. Cespedes today just didn't show up for the game, and now halfway through figures he's opting out. DeGrom's pretty much their only star highlight so far this season, so he pitches tomorrow, so we might see them start climbing up. But as for right now, they had a disastrous week, so I had to drop them significantly considering we're really early in the season still, and I gotta go based on what I know. 26, got the Diamondbacks. They're tough because they've had a fairly tough schedule out of the gate, playing the Dodgers, playing the Padres. So they're there. I'm really excited to see how they do against the weaker parts of the West. Right now, it's kind of a tale of two Wests. As we all know, the Wests are playing each other. So it's a tale. You're either down here or you're up here. More games will help figure this out and help figure out the middle. The middle is usually the hardest part. 25, got the Marlins. Honestly, I just slowly been moving them down, and really it's because they're supposed to play tomorrow, and when this video comes out, it'll be today. They're supposed to play. They've been signing waivers. I'm not sure if they're even going to be able to compete, but they are 2-1, so I give them the edge over these, but I don't know how they're going to compete. I expect them really to just filter down. It's unfortunate because they had a promising start, but again, we're 3 games in. It's hard to really gauge them at all. 24, Kansas City. They had a rough, kind of mediocre week. Chicago White Sox really used them as a bolster out of the bottom row. I don't see them going higher than this. It's really hard. Central is going to be an interesting one to watch. I don't have much else to say. Just kind of watch them play the Chicago White Sox, which is not really the most fair comparison because they were not doing so well. But yeah, I got them number 24. Number 23, giving it to Boston. They had an okay week. They got, 2 wins or something, maybe 3. They mostly beat up on the Mets, and then they had the Yankees, so they got swept by the Yankees this weekend. Can't really hold that against them because the Yankees right now are just way above everyone else. Number 22, got the Texas Rangers. They were in a little bit of a scrap this weekend with San Francisco. They came out the other side losing. They've lost to Colorado now too. Really, I don't know. It's another one of those situations in the West. I consider them ahead of these other guys for now, but once they start playing these other Wests and we get a better picture, it'll be a little more understandable. Right now, I see them near the bottom of the league. Next up, 21, Milwaukee Brewers. They had the weekend off. They were supposed to play the Cardinals, but that whole COVID situation happened. And they barely squeaked out against the Pirates, so I couldn't put them any higher than this. They were getting wins. They played the Cubs last week too, so I got them there. This next week will really help paint the picture if they're more up here or if we got them right where they deserve to be. Number 20, got another 3-game team, the Phillies. Even though they're technically a better record than the Marlins and they played each other, they have a better roster with the lack of COVID compared to the Marlins. So I got them there, and that's based off 3 games. So let's wait and see what they do this week. Yeah, they got the Yankees first up, so right out of the gates, Yankees are on fire. It's going to be a tough one for them, but hopefully it helps us figure out if the Phillies are as rough as they look against the Marlins. Number 19, it's another interesting Cincinnati Reds. Had them all over the map this week. I've had them super down here. Their week got saved with today when they played the doubleheader and they won both. Don't put a lot of weight into it because for Cincinnati, their biggest struggle has been their bullpen. And with the doubleheaders, 7-inning games, not a lot of weight in 2 wins, but I do have them there, 19, working their way up if they can keep it going. Only time will tell. 18, got the Cardinals. Tried to just keep them in the middle, considering they were off this weekend with the whole COVID situation. Again, this is a team that's not a little unclear if they're going to be playing this upcoming week, at least the next series. Losing record, but this matchup they were supposed to have against the Brewers was going to really help define them for the power rankings. So for now, I'll just keep them in the middle. Not too much weight on them yet. Number 17, they're higher than expected. Detroit Tigers. I have them ahead of Cincy. So they've played 6 games against Cincy. They're 3-3. I give the little edge to them mainly because of the extra innings thing. This whole area is going to be fairly close, at least right now. Detroit Tigers surprising me so far. I had them up higher, but then they lost today, doubleheader. Had they won both, sky's the limit where they'd be right now. Contrary to where I think they should be, this is where they are, based on how they're playing. 16, we got the Washington Nationals. They really recovered against the Blue Jays. Again, another team that had the weekend off. They've had a pretty extreme schedule. I guess 2 series, really, Yankees and Blue Jays. So you would think that some easier competition coming forth, but the East, it's a powerhouse. So right in the middle, right on the borderline playoff area, they're going to be fighting for it. Next up, 15, I got Blue Jays. I'm giving them the slight edge in that 2-2 series split because they showed some fight against Tampa when they did play them before that. Nate P Pearson had an amazing first start for them this week. That's a huge note. Teoscar Hernandez cranked 3 home runs. So their offense seems to be there. Their pitching actually seems to be there. I'm pleasantly surprised where the Blue Jays are at this point. Might help. They're my favorite number 15. Number 14. We got the San Francisco Giants, and they've just been, after starting with the Dodgers, they've been like up and down, up and down. They beat the Rangers this weekend, so definitely gotta be proud of that. I think the NL West is gonna be a powerhouse. It seems like the NL West is definitely beating up on the AL, but yeah. Again, it's gonna be another one of a couple weeks, and we'll really see who the Giants are. But so far, they're hanging around. They're hanging around, and with a short season, picking up wins, everyone's gonna count. So right now, they're in the playoff hunt, right in the middle. Number 13 with the White Sox. They really turned it on this week. And it was tough last week because I had them lower, but they had a very tough schedule. They had the Twins, they had the Indians. So both teams are higher than them. Now that they're playing Kansas City, teams that are lower than them, they're racking up the wins. So, yeah, got them moving up right in the playoff hunt. And really, they're going to be competing for the Central. The offense looks like it's up there this year. They showed a lot of prowess this weekend. Number 12, Tampa Bay. I had a viewer last week tell me that I'm underrating Tampa Bay, so I stayed a little bit closer to watching them. And I think that viewer might have cursed them because since that, and I started watching them closely, it did work on Atlanta, but then getting swept by this next team. Really, I can't put them any higher because they had a rough week. They lost like four games or so. This next team, I can't believe I'm doing this. Number 11, the Orioles. The Orioles are like only losing to the Yankees. They swept the Rays. They lost the Yankees this week. And after having such a good opening weekend against the Red Sox, I can't put them any lower right now. I don't expect them to keep this up, but if they do, that's where they deserve to be, and that's where they deserve to be based on how they've played. Their offense, home runs have really kept them in. So, wow. 11th. I think I had them down here before the season, so it's a huge surprise, especially for me. Number 10, I got the Oakland A's. And they had fallen a little bit after losing to the Rockies earlier in the week, but they made up their ground this weekend, beating the teams they're supposed to. Don't know what else I can say other than that. A's are right there in the hunt. Number 9, a little bit down from last week, guys. San Diego Padres. Actually, I don't know. They might have been here, but they were up and then they were down. They lost back-to-back nights now to the Rockies, and this just goes to show this West it's stacked. The Padres off to a great start. Maybe Coors Field was a little bit rough on them, on their pitcher specifically. There was tons of runs for both sides this weekend in their series, so it'll be interesting to watch these guys going forward. Number 8, I got the Cleveland Indians. They're a little bit down, and they got pummeled up by the Twins this weekend. They got swept, so they had to come down, but they're still up there until I see them play a little bit more of the mediocre teams and how they perform against them. Because so far they've performed well against those teams that mattered. So knocked up on Royals, knocked up on the White Sox. So for now they're in 8th. This week is going to be an interesting turning point for them if they can keep in the top 10. Number 7, these guys have been everywhere. Atlanta Braves. I had to give it to them. They destroyed the Mets this weekend. And their offense is coming forth. The pitching seems to be a little bit slow so far, but it's like that for most teams. They're getting the wins right now. They had that huge comeback that I already referenced, and then they just powered their way through it today. So I think the NL East is really theirs to take. Definitely with the Phillies questionable, Marlins questionable, what's going on with those two teams. And the way the Mets have played, geez, it's really theirs to take right now. Number 6, kind of was unsure about this one. The Astros. the Dodgers got their revenge on them during the week, 2 games, and then the Astros came back and they handled the Angels. So I couldn't drop them too far because they're losing to a team ahead of them, beating the teams below them. But they're there. It's going to be another one of those situations where can they keep it up? And we're just going to follow them closely now that Verlander's on the sideline. Can the pitching stay strong for them? Overall, they're a pretty solid team. So, number 5, the highest they've been for sure so far, the Rockies. And I can't have a reason to bring them lower. They're winning. They've won every series they've played. They've handled fairly good teams along the way in the A's and in the Padres. So both like top 10 teams. So I have to put them in the top 5 for now. Again, it's the NL West. We're going to have 3 teams up there. For them, it's going to be, can the pitching keep up with the offense? Number 4, the Dodgers. Got them number 4 because they're just picking up they have a few more L's than the rest. Arizona picked off like these teams that aren't supposed to be the best are still taking a win. They're not sweeping. They haven't got their sweep under their belt yet. And once they do that, I'm sure it'll put them back in the top 3. But for now, top 4 because I just find them below these next 3 teams. Number 3, got the Chicago Cubs. I think they're up 1 from last week. I had them number 4. They just finished their sweep of the Pirates. I believe they played Cincinnati before that. I can't quite recall. But the only game they really struggled with was Hendricks. After a complete game shutout, he got annihilated. But we're all going to have those 1 games a week per se. But I think they have 3 losses now in the year, 7-3 or something. That's maybe less. Number 3, that's where I got them right now. Number 2, and they've been on fire. Minnesota Twins. They have been on fire. The offense has been spectacular. Maeda had an amazing start. The pitching has been on point. And they're handling all their opponents too. They could easily be in first, but New York Yankees have to be in first. I had them in first last week, and they didn't lose this week. So for now, they're in first still, and wouldn't be surprised to see them up there. It's going to take them to have a little bit of a losing streak, and the Twins keep winning as of right now. But Yankees didn't lose this week. They're still number 1. As much as it pains me to say it, they have an amazing team. Very well. Could be like kind of what I talked about in one of my other videos. The playoff format could be their downfall with the best of 3 in the first round. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. And yeah, it's August 2nd. Here are your power rankings for the MLB 60-game season. Hopefully you guys liked it. Please let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I screwed up here, who I have too high, who I have too low, what am I complete joke about, and don't forget, subscribe. I'm doing these every week. I got other videos. Gonna do a hockey update of the first round coming out Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Peace. Ace.